What's going on, guys? Got another small comic book haul for you. Got a couple of small hauls for two recent trips. This first little batch was from The Great Escape in Bowling Green. Went down there a couple weeks ago, right before Halloween, and picked these books up. This first one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 16. This is from their current IDW run. This was $3. I picked this up just trying to fill out this run. So anytime I can find issues that I don't have for cheaper than cover price, I will pick them up. So this one is just the A cover. I'm not sure if there's anything special about this one or not, but I needed it for my collection, so picked it up for $3. Next, I got number 30 from the IDW run. This one was also $3. This has actually got a first appearance in it. It is Koya. She or he is a mutated falcon. She's pretty prominent in the current story arc that's going on right now, up in the like 120s, I think, is where they're at now. So this is her first appearance. I like the cover on this one. Donatello looking very solemn and contemplative. Maybe he's drawing something. It looks like he's got a notebook or something. So very weird. He's usually not the artistic one. But the like how the trade dress matches the color of his bandana and the leaves there. Very fancy and very artistic for a Ninja Turtles book. So this one goes for anywhere between 10 and $20. This is actually my second copy of it. So I'll probably try to flip this one or the other one I have, depending on which one's probably in the better condition. This one has a few spine ticks on the side I can see, but nothing too bad. So again, $3, less than cover price. Happy to find it. These next books were either a dollar or 50 cents a piece. I think they were 50 cents. Yeah. This first one is X Farce number one. I like all these parody issues that were popular in the late 80s and early 90s. This one was obviously a parody of X Force. Came out from Eclipse Comics. Um, I've never seen this one before, but anytime I find these parody issues, I'll pick them up for cheap. Like how what's that character's name? Farrell, I think. Kind of looks like Garfield down there, so that's pretty funny. Of course, we got Cable and Warpath. I don't see Deadpool being parodied on here, which is interesting, but he might be inside somewhere. Like Shatterstar here with the fork. That's pretty funny. So yeah, just happy to find this for 50 cents. Why not? Next two issues I was very excited to see pick up for 50 cents each. Starship Troopers 1 and 2. This is the movie adaptation of the awesome movie from the mid 90s. First appearance of Johnny Rico in comics number one. First appearance of Doogie Howser, aka Carl something, as the military intelligence guy, Johnny Rico's best friend, in Starship Troopers number one as well. So I was very excited to see these. I'm just noticing now for the first time they're both newsstands, so that's kind of cool. Um, Starship Troopers, one of my favorite movies from this time period. It still holds up as parody and satire. Completely different than the book by Robert Heinlein, but just something different. And can't really judge it by the book, but I'd like the book, but the movie is awesome too. We actually went to go see a Fathom events of this, a rescreening they did a few years ago with some friends. They showed it in theaters again, so that was a lot of fun seeing that back on the big screen. I think it came out in '97, I think. So 20 years later, it's a good time to see it on the theater again. So I've never seen these before, so 50 cents each. Why not? There's only two, one and two. I think that was a short adaptation. So I'm not sure if there's any more Starship Trooper comics or not, but if I ever see any more, I will definitely pick them up. Next book here, we have Satan 6, number 4. This was, like I said, I was down at Great Escape in Bowling Green around Halloween time, and this is I don't know, depending on who you ask, first or second appearance of Jason Voorhees in comics. The movie adaptation of Jason Goes to Hell came out around the same time as this. I think Key Collector has this as his first appearance in comics, and then it came out like a week before or a few days before that Jason Goes to Hell adaptation. But I don't care. Neither of them really go for anything. I just thought it was kind of a cool pickup, especially around Halloween time, for 50 cents. why not? It's got a pretty cool cover. It's, the hockey mask and the people coming out of it looks pretty nifty. Next two books, I've got Prophet number 2 and Prophet number 7. These were from volume 2. The first volume was 9 or 10 issues, I think. Volume 2 was around that many as well. I've got volume 1 completed, so I'm working on volume 2 now. Stephen Platt did both of these covers, and I think he did the pencils inside as well. Yeah, he did the pencils on 2. Let's see if he did the pencils on 3. It doesn't look like he did. Oh yeah, he did the pencils. Just looking through the issue, doesn't look like him, but he is the credited penciler, so that's really cool. One of my favorite artists from this period, so I'll pick up anything from him for cheap whenever I can see it. So I was happy to find issues 2 and 7. These were, well, these issues, but the first appearance of Prophet, that Youngblood 2, and then Prophet number 1, Volume 1 was picking up a little bit of heat a few weeks ago when they announced Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be starring as Prophet in the movie that's coming out at some point. I think they finished a draft of the screenplay, so I don't think they've started filming yet or anything, but it looks like it's gonna happen, so that should be cool. Looking forward to that. Next two issues. Alright, so we got some X-Men Adventures goodness. These are both Season 2. We got Season 2 number 2, Season 2 number 5, and Disney Plus Day was a couple days ago, and they just announced they're going to be doing a new X-Men animated series called X-Men 97, so very excited to hear that. Hopefully it'll be in the same style animation as that original X-Men cartoon from the early 90s that these comics are based on. So looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. So I'm just been trying to pick up these, fill out these first 2 seasons. Season 2, these are both from Season 2, like I said. I've got a cool Mr. Sinister cover on that one, fighting Rogue and Wolverine. The Nasty Boys, not to be confused with the relief pitchers from the Cincinnati Reds at the same time, I'm sure, but actual villains, I have no idea who these guys are. There's Gambit, but I assume these are the Nasty Boys, group led by Mr. Sinister, I guess. And on this one, we've got Wolverine with Alpha Flight in it, so that's pretty cool. I'm just trying to fill out these first 2 seasons. I'm not sure about Season 3 yet. I don't really like anything that I've seen from that. I don't think I watched the cartoon that late into the run, so I may go back and watch the cartoon just to see if I like it, and if I do, then I'll pick up the comics. If not, I'll just get these first 2 seasons. Alright, so that's all the books I picked up from Great Escape around Halloween. These next few I picked up from Maui in Hawaii last week. My wife and I went there for our anniversary, and I was able to sneak away to the one local comic book shop on Maui and picked up a few books, so that's where I got these. This first one, what was the name of the shop? Maui Comics and Collectibles, I think it was called. It was weird because the shop was like a used bookstore, used music store for most of it, and that was called Request Music, I think. And then on one side of it, they had comic books where I picked some of these up. There was 2 separate guys running it. One guy, the main guy, was there. He had the music and used bookstore, and then I guess one of his friends had this section of comic books too. But the guy that was there, whose store it was, he had a few long boxes too. He said he had a comic book store back in the late 90s, and that's where a lot of that stuff was from. The guy who wasn't there, who I picked up this Turtles book from, he had more recent stuff. He had newer books too. But I picked up one new book. I'll show that. But I picked up these Turtles books from him. This is Ninja Turtles number 28. This was $3. This was the original Mirage Run Volume 1. Slowly trying to piece that together. I doubt I'll ever get that first issue unless it's like a 4th or 5th printing or something. But slowly just trying to piece that together as much as I can, especially when I can find them for cheap. Like I said, this one's $3. Don't know who this is on the cover. Some weird mutant fish lady, but pretty cool painted looking cover. So I don't have it, so I picked it up. This next one is from the Archie series. This is Ninja Turtles Mutant Universe Source Book, number 1 of 2. This is kind of cool. It's like kind of like those Marvel and DC, like Who's Who or Source Book, uh, Marvel and Universe books. It's just kind of an encyclopedia of characters. This was all pre-internet, of course. So if you wanted to know anything about any of the characters, you'd either have to know off the top of your head or get one of these cool source books. So I like these a lot. It has their first appearance, has their powers and weapons, little biography, personal data. So I always like to pick those up. Like I said, pre-internet days, this was how you learned about comics. Outside of reading the actual comics that people were in, these source books were a great resource for the history of comics. So I'd never seen that one before. Looks like it's 1 of 2, so if I find the second one, that'd be cool too. This goes A through M, and it was $2. Next book, we've got Warp Special, Lord Cumulus versus Sargon, Mistress of War. This is issue number 2. I'd never heard of this before, but I saw that it was a Silvestri signature on the cover, so I checked the inside and just to make sure it's Mark Silvestri. This is one of his early works. It was like, what year was this from? Definitely early 80s. This was right around the time he was starting to work on Conan, I think, for Marvel. So let's see if I can find the year in here. Yeah, I'm not sure what the year is. Don't see it anywhere in here. 83 maybe? There's an ad in there for 83. So early 80s, whatever. Definitely see the Conan influence, Red Sonja at least. That's kind of what this Mistress of War looks like. No red hair, of course, but she's got that like barbarian style armor. And Mark Silvestri kind of cut his teeth doing those books for Marvel before he was put on to X-Men. So these early appearances, early works by artists that I like, I always try to pick those up whenever I see them, especially if it's something I've never seen before. Like I'd never seen this one before, just recognize the signature. Silvestri, that was before his signature changed. It evolved into like 3 layers, SIL, VES, TRI. He would have 3 little rows to spell out Silvestri. I guess that saves space instead of just writing it all out like that. But either way, for $1, I was happy to find this. Next one, we've got Marvel Comics Presents 117. This book heated up a while ago. This one was $1 as well. For the first meeting of Venom and Wolverine. You can see that on the cover. It's a cool Sam Keith cover. If you're out looking for this one, just be aware it's a flip cover as well. So sometimes they'll have this on the front because it does have the same price and number. So this is Ghostwriter and Iron Fist, another Sam Keith. But the reason I picked it up was for the Venom and Wolverine. This is in really rough shape. I think this was one of the comics the guy had since the 90s. You can see some of that. Looks like just water damage and just dirt, or maybe like leftover funk from the bag. I thought it was on the bag, but when I took it out, I realized, nope, that is on the book. But it was only $1, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll probably just keep this one. I'd sold one when this got hot back in the early part of the summer for like $20 or something. So you can still find these in the dollar bin. I'm not sure how much they go for now. Probably less than that. 20, probably about 10 or 15 right now. But it's a cool Sam Keith cover, so I was happy to find it for $1. 2 more books. We've got Fight Girls #1. This is the recent issue that I was talking about. This is the Frank Cho series. It's only been out for 5 or 6 months now, I think. Frank Cho is one of the new artists that I like, or not new. He's one of the artists that I like now that I came back into collecting about a year ago, and I became aware of him. I like his style a lot. So I was happy to find this for cover price. I'm going to try to fill out this run. It's a 5-issue series. Looks pretty entertaining. Like I said, Frank Cho writes it, and he does all the artwork and not just the covers too. So I appreciate that. Last book, we've got Ninja Turtles 100, and that's from the current IDW run. This is the cover B. This is the Kevin Eastman cover. I like Kevin Eastman covers whenever I can find them for whatever, just normal pricing. He does the alternate covers on the current run too, so I picked those up a lot as well. So I just grabbed this one, needed it for the collection. Issue 100. This was a cool storyline. A few issues before, we had Jenica's first appearance as a turtle. This is after Hobb sets off the mutagen bomb that turns a bunch of people in New York City into mutants, and they try to bring back Shredder after he had died. And issue 50, I think Splinter kills him in issue 50 or 51, I think. So they try to resurrect him and stuff. So lots of cool turtle stuff going on here. So that's it, guys. Just a few books. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later.